Now at 10, Sarcoxy residents expressed their concerns surrounding a proposed data center during a public meeting. Plus, area pharmacists look to lawmakers to reform a loophole they say benefits the middleman. And the remarkable way two people survived a plane crash in southeast Kansas, thanks in part to the actions of a Good Samaritan.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Strong winds and heavy rains threaten the four states. This is KOAM News. I'm Dow Quick. Let's go straight to meteorologist Austin Stantz, who's tracking the storms.
Yeah, thanks, Dow. We got some active weather underway right now across the four states region. Got to get this turned on here. There we go. You'll notice some stormy conditions starting to move into the four states region. A few severe thunderstorm warnings, one right now moving into Montgomery County. We take a look at that guy first, and you'll see this storm moving east-northeast right now. Areas like Independence, we'll see that storm arrive around 10:30. Same for Coffeyville right around then as well. Taking a little bit of a wider look right now. So areas shaded in this kind of yellow-orange color that you're seeing there is a severe thunderstorm watch until 4 a.m. Tornado watch, and I'll tell you what, the tornado threat really beginning to diminish now, but that tornado watch expires there at 11 o'clock. They'll probably just let that expire. We have these storms off to the north. Chanute, you can start expecting these storms to move into your area about 10:45. We're going to break all this down and more with another severe threat on the way this weekend. We'll have all the details coming up.
All right, we'll catch you in a few. Pharmacists in the four states say their livelihoods are at risk as major companies take more control of the drug market. They're warning that pharmacy benefit managers, better known as PBMs, have an unfair advantage when it comes to filling prescriptions, and they're forcing more and more patients away from local pharmacies. Now they're calling on legislators to introduce reforms for PBMs before more local pharmacies are forced to close their doors.
Unfortunately, today, they live off the backs of patients, off the backs of pharmacies, and frankly, off the backs of employers and our government.
In her special report, Prescriptions for Profit, KOAM Samantha Walker took an in-depth look at proposed PBM reforms in the four states. We aired that at 6. Look for that on KOAMnewsnow.com. We have a developing story still. Two people have survived the crash of a small plane this afternoon near US 169 north of Chanute, Kansas. A pilot and passenger were trying to get to the Chanute Municipal Airport after experiencing engine failure. Fighting headwinds, they realized, they weren't going to make it. They deployed their emergency parachute system to land in a field in Neosho County, but the winds dragged their aircraft along the ground. That's when a passing driver saw it and pulled his truck in front of the plane to slow it down enough so the pilot and passenger could get out. After they were cleared, the parachute continued dragging that plane across Highway 169, where it came to rest in a hedgerow. Students and potential career changers gathered at Mount Hope Counseling Center this evening to explore the mental health field. The Meet the Therapists night drew people interested in becoming counselors. 3 local therapists explained various career paths from licensed clinical social workers to marriage and family therapists. They broke down graduate school requirements, internship opportunities, and what the work is really like beyond the classroom.
We want to encourage our future therapists to come in, and we want to help them in that journey along the way and tell them, we're here for you. You have questions, we want to be here, we want to help you along that journey.
I'd like to get started just by...
The free event gave future therapists a chance to ask questions they can't get answered in a textbook. Sarcoxy High hosted a community information session in regard to Geronimo Power's proposed data center project for Jasper County this evening. KOAM's Kenny Foreman tells us what local lawmakers are hoping their constituents take away from that event.
After receiving many concerns from her constituents, Missouri State Representative Ann Kelly decided to put the information session together as a way to keep everyone as informed as possible.
I remember what happened in Joplin, and it seemed like that if they would have had a pre-information meeting before the main meeting, then maybe people would have been able to get ahead of all the concerns.
For those opposed to the project, a roadblock exists because Jasper County currently does not have zoning laws preventing Geronimo from building. While Commissioner Jimmy Morris hears people's concerns, he wants them to understand that there's only so much direct action he's permitted to take.
I think one of the misconceptions with the County Commission is that we have the ability to approve or deny anything we want to, and that's simply not the case. And so one of the things we'll talk about is the aspects that the County Commission has a say over and those that we don't.
Despite this, the local lawmakers, which include State Senator Jill Carter, still believe in the value of hearing people's responses before determining where they can go from there.
These are fact-finding conversations, right, where you're able to share, hey, this is what we know from some Senate bills that have passed and some House bills that we're working on. There is an emerging conversation about it. So how do we drive that conversation based on the concerns that we take back from our community?
And having a space where they can be heard means a lot to concerned folks like Reese Hind, who continues to advocate online.
They've been great. I mean, they've been super helpful, both of them. Any information I've asked for, they've been super quick to get it back to me. Anne's the one who set up the meeting tonight. We kind of talked about that idea, and she kind of brought it to fruition. And Jimmy, anytime I text or call him, he always answers.
In Sarcoxie, Kenny Foreman, KOAM News.
None of the lawmakers nor Sarcoxie High School can indicate whether they are for or against that project. History repeats itself as a historic motor court on Route 66 gets ready for a grand reopening. The story of the Shamrock Court is up next and coming up later.
Independence Community College is hosting his 43rd William Inge Festival to keep honoring his legacy. I'm Nellie Lopez with more details on that coming up.
History is coming back to life in Missouri. An iconic motor inn along Route 66 is set to reopen next month after sitting vacant for years. As Chad Pline reports, that's thanks to the hard work of a man who fell in love with the Shamrock Court Motel.
I caught it out of the corner of my eye, and when I saw it, I just slammed on the brakes, pulled a U-turn, pulled in here, and I said, I love this place. Gosh, I love this place.
Roman Rich ended up partnering with the old owner a year later to start fixing up the old Shamrock Court. One corner needed a new roof. They had to restructure the entire roof and reframe the walls. Electric, plumbing, you name it, it had to be replaced or updated. And along the way, the pandemic hit and the owner needed to sell.
I didn't want to put all the effort of, quote, saving it in basically being a bookmark and then having somebody else get it who didn't see it all the way through, and then it was, left to somebody who didn't care, and then we've got a fast food restaurant here on the corner.
So in 2019, Rich and his wife bought the Shamrock Court, and it's been a lot of work ever since. He's eyeing May to have his 9 rooms open for the tourists to stop at while on their summer trek across Route 66. They have some theme rooms, including neon, with a neon-ready kilowatt, who's also turning 100, ready to meet the guests in the room.
I hope they'll want to come back. I hope they're so mesmerized by this place as I was that they can't wait to come back and stay here again, and they can't wait to tell all their friends and family about us. This place truly is enchanting. It's one of a kind on the entire route.
The Shamrock Court's website is up and taking reservations. A landmark of downtown Springfield has a brand new name. Hammons Field, home of the Springfield Cardinals and Missouri State Baseball Bears, is now the Route 66 Stadium. After being known as Hammons Field since 2005, the name change is part of a multi-year agreement leading up to the Route 66 Centennial Kickoff Celebration. The first Springfield Cardinals game with the new Route 66 Stadium name will be on Tuesday. KOAM is joining in the celebration of the 100th anniversary of Route 66 with a series of mini documentaries about some of the fun sights and people along the Mother Road right here in the 4 states. Tanya Bach and I traveled along the route and filmed all sorts of adventures. We visited Lawrence and Jasper counties in Missouri, Cherokee County, Kansas, and Ottawa County, Oklahoma. You can now stream all 4 segments of that documentary titled Kicking It on Route 66 right there on your TV. Scan the QR code, the one you see there, learn how you can download the KOAM Plus TV streaming app. Once you download that free TV app, just look for the Plus Premiere section to watch. A little later, the Chiefs look to draft their highest pick in more than a decade. Ben McLeish, Zach Petrick breaks it all down for us in sports.
And a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for central and eastern portions of the region. We'll break it all down coming up.
Here's your Skywatch weather forecast from the trusted Roper Kia Weather Center.
Well, we've got active weather underway here in the 4 states tonight, and I'll tell you what, tornado threat really diminishing tonight, likely just going to allow this to expire. We're after 10 o'clock. This expires at 11, the tornado watch there. So again, tornado threat diminishing. But what we do have, the new addition to the watches and warnings out there is a severe thunderstorm watch for a large chunk of the 4 states till about 4 a.m. That's as these severe thunderstorm warnings are beginning to move in. These bright yellow colors you're seeing here are active severe thunderstorm warnings. So we do have an active severe thunderstorm warning for areas of Washington and Nowata, extending into Chautauqua and Montgomery County right now. All right, let's talk about the storms off to the north here first. We got this line of thunderstorms extending to the east here. Cold front beginning to interact there. We'll see Iola about 10:22, Chanute about 10:24, and Henry, you're not getting in there till about 11:30, so still got some time. All right, so with that line of storms, seeing near severe wind gusts between 58 and 63 miles per hour, so something we want to watch that's going to continue to push east. Jumping a little bit further south, there's kind of a lot going on here, so let's talk about this. We got this cold front that's interacting with those storms to the north, still not interacting with these storms to the south just yet. So what's happening is these storms to the north are pushing east while these guys are moving northeast for now. Once that back end of that cold front begins to swing through here, all storms will start to start moving east here, east-southeast, and we'll see a convergence between those two systems. Now, the storm further to the south here, this is, again, moving northeast at this moment at about 50 miles per hour. So you'll see West Coffeyville about 10:19, Coffeyville about 10:24, Independence just before 10:30. Main threats here, 60 mile per hour wind gusts and up to 3/4 inch hail. All right, so here's the cold front. You can definitely see it here, 68 in Yates Center, looking kind of everywhere else, 72 in Miami, 74 Veneta, 70 there in Joplin. So cold front definitely starting to move through. The highest severe threat, which we're kind of leaving that area now, was this 3 out of 5 area here, the enhanced risk. Now we're starting to move in this yellow shade here, which is going to be that slight risk, mainly just a wind threat tonight and heavy rain. Localized flash flooding possible, really just heavy rain and gusty winds southeast there for northwestern Arkansas. Storms really start to lose their structure as we make our way late tonight. So Pittsburgh around 11:30, pushing into central portions of the region between 11:30 and 1 a.m. And then storms will begin moving into northwest Arkansas around 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning and then pushing out by around 6 a.m. Friday's not looking too bad. 75 degrees after storms clear out. It's going to be a really nice afternoon. As we head into Saturday, though, another round of showers and thunderstorms, enhanced risk to our southwestern counties this time. We're going to be watching that very closely as we head into Saturday. Temperatures near 80 degrees, could even break 80. This is going to be more scattered in nature. We're not going to really see that line of thunderstorms, more scattered thunderstorms. But we're also watching Sunday very closely. This is what I have my eye on. We have a possible alert day for Sunday. All hazards possible. The timing and the risks still being worked out as more data comes in. But check out the 10-day Dow. Temperatures are staying consistent for us. We just have to get through some thunderstorms tonight and then again this weekend, and we get a little bit of a break from the rainfall.
We'll probably need the break by the time it comes.
Sure will.
Thanks. Small Kansas town becomes the center of American theater this weekend. Independence, Kansas welcomes playwrights from New York to California for the 3-day prestigious Inge Festival. KUIM's Nellie Lopez visited the festival to discover how this Pulitzer Prize winner's legacy continues to shape new voices in theater.
Theater is such a beautiful art and such an expressive art, and it makes so many people happy.
In Independence, that love of theater is tied to a legacy. William Inge,
playwright that was actually born here in Independence. He went on to do quite a few film adaptations of his work, and so people like Marilyn Monroe, Natalie Wood have been in his productions. He's won an Oscar. So there's a lot of history of his work here in Independence. A lot of his work you can see has the influence of this small town.
Hubble says that kind of impact is exactly why rural communities shouldn't be underestimated. The festival isn't just about performances, it's about creating a home base for meet and make work.
I want to keep pushing that. I want this to be a place where playwrights can come and create with resources that we can give them to connect our community to the arts and arts engagement.
For one college student, it's a chance to build community and inspire the next generation of performers.
Inspire and influence other high schoolers to jump in and do theater in colleges, because this is a rural area and you could do college here and do theater like you want to do, and I think it's really important for people to see that you have that opportunity in Little Kansas.
This year they're bringing in a guest speaker with major credits. One of the writers for the Disney film, Raya and the Last Dragon.
Lee Gwynn is going to be here. He's an amazing playwright, and to see his work is amazing. Like, honoring him here at William Inge has been super exciting.
In Independence, Kansas, Nellie Lopez, KOAM News.
That event continues through Saturday in Independence, Kansas. Visit KOAMnewsnow.com for more details on how to see the complete scheduling details of that event. Still ahead, analysis of the Kansas City Chiefs NFL draft selections. Ben McLeish and Zach Petrick have highlights from draft night up next in sports.
It's the day we've all been waiting for, the 2026 NFL Draft, and the pick is in for the Kansas City Chiefs. We've got a trade. They trade up with the Cleveland Browns for the number 6 overall pick, and with that pick, they select LSU cornerback Mansour Delane. Zach, what are your thoughts on this pick?
Well, Ben, when you think about this Chiefs offseason, one thing comes to mind on defense: the loss of Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson. Delane fills the need on the outside for Kansas City, although it did cost them to do it.
That's right. Kansas City traded its 9th, 74th, and 148th overall picks for the Browns 6, so they were able to get their guy without giving up any firsts or seconds.
That's exactly right, Ben. KC knew who they wanted and made sure they had the chance to select that Maryland native. In terms of measurements and traits, Delane is a 6-foot, nearly 200-pound lockdown corner who forced 11 pass breakups and 2 interceptions last season. Although he is on the smaller side for cornerback, he has great instincts and fluidity in his movement. Delane forced 8 interceptions over 4 years in college, 6 in his first 3 years with Virginia Tech, and 2 in his final season with LSU.
Well, Zach, you know I like my SEC boys. This dude is ready to play right now. He's got the size, he's got the talent, and he's got the potential to be a top corner in this league, and that's exactly what the Chiefs needed.
It is exactly what they needed following the departure of both starting cornerbacks last season. We all knew Kansas City was going to address that position at some point in the draft. They don't waste any time taking the top man on the board, a big get for that group. But that wasn't all for the Chiefs tonight. Along with Delane, KC also selected Peter Woods, a defensive tackle out of Clemson.
That's right. Woods can line up on the interior or the edge, but most scouts believe he fits best right on the inside. He's another guy who should be able to make an immediate impact on this defense.
Yeah, KC needed help on the line. Despite solid rankings, the Chiefs were 29th in third down defense, near the bottom of the league. Woods is a big-time run stuffer who can play both inside and outside, as you mentioned. He will be a force to be reckoned with and disrupt plays in the backfield.
And Woods reminds me a lot of a certain Chiefs defensive tackle by the name of Chris Jones. Of course, there's no one quite like Jones, but Woods is a similar size, a little bit shorter, but almost the same weight. They both can get to the quarterback, but plug up the middle and stuff the run. These two can play together this season, but Woods could potentially be the successor to the potential future Hall of Famer. So, to sum it up, in one night, the Chiefs defense just got a whole lot better, immediately addressing some of its biggest holes. Following their trade, the Chiefs only have one selection tomorrow, the 40th overall pick. Now, of course, you're a Chiefs fan. What do you think?
I was surprised, especially by the trade up for a cornerback. I didn't see it coming, but I think a lot of the analysts didn't necessarily, but, I also trust in Brett Veach and company, so obviously they know more than I do. We'll see if it works out.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great trade. It's your position of need. You go and get it right away.
Yeah, they lost a couple of great cornerbacks in the offseason, so yeah, we'll see if this helps to fill that void. We'll be right back. The Carthage FFA's annual plant sale was today at the Carthage the Technical Center South, and it turned into the kind of community rush you had to see to believe. By the time the doors opened at 9, shoppers were already lined up for those hanging baskets, tomatoes, hydrangeas, succulents, and especially the ferns. Every plant was grown right there by students with prices starting at just $2.
Coming in really early in the morning, I feel like whenever people think of watering, they're just like, oh, you can water plants whenever you want, but it's like you have to come in before the heat wave hits and you have to make sure to get everything done. And as a person who wants to sleep in during the summer as a high schooler, it can be a lot sometimes.
You know, some of us are older, sometimes like to sleep in too. I can't blame you. Sales from the fundraiser went to support the program behind the greenhouse doors. Now, if you have any of those plants and you took them outside, you're not going to have to water them for a while because Mother Nature is going to take care of that for you.
Yeah, we got some active weather across the region right now. So this first storm off to the north here, Chanute, you're going to be getting in on some action here. It's going to get a little gusty, 60-mile-per-hour wind gust. That's 1042. Further north there, we got that line of thunderstorms. So Fort Scott, you'll be getting in there right around 1110. So those storms continuing to push through a little bit further south. Now moving into Labette County, we'll be looking at Labette right around 1055. Edna, you'll be about 1043, just before 1045. So some active weather tonight.
You'll have to be conscious of the possibility of some flooding in the area. Final sports note.
Well, the Chiefs took 2 players in the draft tonight. Tomorrow, they've only got 1 selection, so we'll see what they can do and add to this roster.
Excited to see it. Thanks for joining us. Morning Show, 5 a.m. Be careful out there, and let's make it a great tomorrow.